Hello, I'm Attorney Todd Leneve. Welcome to West Virginia Gun Law. Today I wanted to take a little time to speak with you about the Fifth Amendment right to be free from self-incrimination. Stick around. We've all seen in TV shows and the movies, police make an arrest and then immediately begin to read the Miranda warning to the people they've taken into custody. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, etc. And one of the great disservices that's been done to our society is that people, for some reason, believe that that has to be done immediately if the police choose to take you into custody or begin questioning you. And the reality is that that is not the case. You can be held for as long as 24 hours without being Mirandized or given that warning. And during that time, anything you say can and, in fact, will be used against you in a court of law. So how does the Fifth Amendment play out in the context of somebody who's being investigated by the police, whether it's for a self-defense incident or some other alleged offense? I want to take a little time here and lay out a few key points that I think are important for you to understand so that we can make sure that people aren't doing things that essentially surrender an important God-given constitutional right, which is the right to be free from self-incrimination or the right to not tell on yourself. So a couple of things have to happen in order to trigger that right to silence. First off, the police have to give you that Miranda warning. So when the police read you that warning, I think the key thing that I want you to take away from that is that that is an invitation to you to shut up. So when you get invited to shut up, accept the invitation. If the police give you that invitation, accept it and remain silent. All right? It's important that you do that. It's really important that you understand once you are given that warning, that advisement, and you choose to remain silent, you actually have to remain silent. It doesn't mean that anything you say after that point is protected. You simply have been told anything you say will be used against you, and they mean it. They will use it against you in evidence. So, once you get the invitation by the police to shut up, accept the invitation and shut up. Stop talking altogether. Now, what if they don't read you that advisement? What if they don't tell you about your rights right out of the gate, which, by the way, they won't? Well, you have the ability, as the accused person or the person under suspicion, to assert your own right to silence. Now, it's not enough that you just remain silent without saying anything. We have Supreme Court cases that have essentially held that an individual's silence before they had been advised of the Miranda warning, the right to remain silent, or before asserting on their own that they wanted to be quiet, that silence was able to be used against them and secure a conviction. So it's important that if the police don't read you the Miranda warning, you then, as the accused, unambiguously and affirmatively assert the right to silence. So what does that mean? Unambiguously means you make it clear. You're not dancing around. You're not mixing your words. You're not trying to make your mind up as you go. You're clearly and affirmatively, or meaning right out of the gate from your own position, not waiting for someone else to key you to do this, telling the police that you don't want to talk. So what's the easiest way to do this? Tell the officer, "Officer, I refuse to answer any questions or submit to any tests without my attorney present, and I have nothing else to say." That is, in effect, an invitation by you to shut up, and also tells the police that you want a lawyer. Once you invite yourself to shut up, then accept your invitation and shut up. Stop talking. Real simple. Let me boil down nearly 31 years of legal practice, 3 years of law school into a simple phrase for you to remember. When you're the subject of a police investigation, shut up and lawyer up. All right? Understand, this is not an anti-police rant. I've got a lot of good friends that are officers, people that I hang out with, people that I train with, and every one of those guys to a T agrees that you should not talk to them when you're being investigated. Really simply, the context of a criminal investigation is very often a high-tension, high-stress scenario, particularly if it's a self-defense situation where you've shot somebody and there's either a dead person or a dying person that's at the center of this investigation. That's a high-stress situation. The officers don't know what they're coming into when they get on scene. All they know is that they've received a radio call of a shooting, and very often the natural human response is to think, I'm going to the scene of something illegal, and it's something illegal that involved violence, involved a firearm. And so they're immediately going to be on guard. They're going to be thinking about 100 different things other than having a clear and absolutely understood conversation with you as the person who says, yeah, I shot this guy. So it's very important that you not say, yeah, I shot this guy, because that may play right into this belief that the officer is carrying onto the scene with him, that in fact somebody did something wrong and, oh, you just admitted to making the shot that killed this person or this person who's dying in the back of an ambulance. So please understand the importance of that silence. You don't want to say things that are going to be misunderstood or misconstrued. Not saying that it's going to be an intentional decision or action by that officer, but it's going to be human nature under the circumstances of the situation that you find yourself in with that officer. Again, high stress, high tension, dead or dying people involved, and a scene that officer is working hard to secure to make sure everybody else is safe and that evidence is not being destroyed. And so, again, not the greatest time to have a meaningful, in-depth conversation, the details of which will absolutely dictate the direction that your case goes. So, just understand, by remaining silent, you're not obstructing that officer, you're not trying to make his or her job more difficult. You are simply exercising your constitutional right to silence. So when you get questioned, the simple response is, officer, I refuse to answer any questions or submit to any kind of tests without my attorney present, and I have nothing else to say. And then remain silent. Be compliant, do what they tell you to do, do not resist. You're going to be taken downtown regardless, so don't let them use that as a threat against you to try to get you to talk. Be silent, be cooperative, be respectful, and then let us come along and fight the case for you later on the issues that really matter. But don't create issues that don't matter. This is a really complex issue. We could get really deep on this, but I wanted to keep this kind of at a level that hits the high points and keeps it relatively easy to understand without turning it into a law school lecture course. So if you have questions, and I expect that there may be some questions, please get in touch with me. My contact information is available through the websites that are linked in the description below. You can reach out to me here through the comments. I'm trying to respond to comments as often as I see them here, so I'll be happy to answer questions. And if it's something that I need to dig into for you, I'll dig into it, and we'll share that information. But you please understand that this is a deep and complex issue, and I don't want you to feel like this short video explains the law completely. This is, though, a very important primer, and it's something every one of you ought to have in your arsenal, especially if you carry a firearm for self-defense, because understand, you will be questioned if you end up using that firearm for self-defense. So, I appreciate you spending the time with me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, please take care, be safe, and we'll see you then.